So if you're in a job interview and you're using the immature strategies that we described, like a prey posture, up talk, too much smiling, what you're doing is you're there as a supplicant and you're asking the dominant primate to bequest something to you. It's a favor. So you're using signals of immaturity to curry favor with someone who's dominant. Now, the disadvantage to that is that puts you in a subordinate position. And that can be a major disadvantage. That's a lot different attitude than a job interview where your goal is to portray your competence. Now, we could think a little bit about the different approaches there, because if you're the supplicant asking for a favor, you're not bringing anything to the table except the potentially implicit promise that you would return the favor, right? And so the job that you're being offered, or the raise or the promotion, that's now a favor. Whereas if you configure your attitude to indicate competence, what you're doing is signaling to the person that you're talking to that you have something of value to bring to the table, and that it would actually be in their interest to offer you what it is that you want. And it seems to me that that's a much more appropriate and successful negotiating stance, unless the person that you're negotiating with is also hyper agreeable and will give it to you just to be liked. That's quite unlikely, I would say, when you're dealing with people who are extremely successful, because they either don't need to be liked because they have enough people who like them, or they're not temperamentally inclined to go in that direction. So what do you think the best signals are when you're negotiating on your own behalf? And what mistakes do you see in addition, perhaps, to the ones that we've been describing?
Yeah, well, when you're going to interview, and you said it, I think, exactly right, is competence is going to be incredibly important for worth and your value, right? Showing I have the skills to bring to this job, and we pay for skills. But there is a time issue here, and the research shows that when we first meet someone, we're trying to quickly answer two questions. Can I trust you? And can I rely on you? And they're chronological. Trust goes first, reliance goes second. So in an interview situation or a date or a meeting, you actually want to show trust first. High warmth signals in the first minute, 30 seconds. So high warmth signals that are good is if you're actually happy to be there, say you're happy to be there. I think you mentioned before you got on stage, you remind yourself that you're happy to be there, that they're on your side. Incredibly important, because exactly you want to be able to say, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me. Great. That's a genuine warmth. Second, visible hands. And I think this goes back to, our caveman days, right? When we were approached by a stranger caveman, we wanted to see their intention. Were they carrying a rock or a spear? So I recommend everyone have open palms upon first greeting. So you walk into the room or you hop on video. Nice to see you. Good morning. Oh, so good to see you. And then you reach out for the handshake if you're in person. Open palm literally shows, it signals to the other person's brain, I am not hiding anything. There's a reason why we say get your hands up. Palms show intention. So first few seconds, you're greeting with an open palm, and ideally a handshake if you're in person. That physical touch is the way we produce oxytocin. Second, if you feel happy, smiling, right? That's a nice warmth cue if you feel happy. Third, you're engaging in eye contact to produce that oxytocin. Okay, warmth, got it. Right? Like that's going to set the stage for, you can trust me, I'm not hiding anything, just from an innate perspective. Then you want to go into reliance. And there's this weird, I'll even say potentially awkward, few minutes in every interaction, especially an interview, where you're transitioning from warmth to competence. And that is called small talk. This is why there are books written about small talk, is because it is very hard to go from, oh, it's so good to see you. Thanks so much for having me. Tell me your greatest strengths. Like that gap is quite hard. So to be highly charismatic, I think that you should be assertive with that transition. That's what I teach. Okay, to be assertive, we're going to break a social script. This is one way that we signal both warmth and competence. Do not say, "How are ya?" Do not say, "How's it been going?" I can tell you, you will socially script them. You engage the brain in, this is an autopilot interaction. So if you ask your interviewer, "So how are ya?" And they say, "Oh," this is what they'll say, "Good, busy, but good."
Yeah.
You've just shown them that this is going to be like every other interview. And part of this is like breaking those scripts. So do not ask that. You're going to ask for a positive primer. You're going to try to cue with something positive, borrow excitement from other areas of their life. So you can ask, "What's good today?" What's good today is a very subtle shift. It makes the other person go, "Oh, what's good today?" You have just changed their thinking pattern from wherever they were before, their inbox, their tasks, to good, 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 good. That is going to make them more optimistic. It also allows you to talk about good things, which is much better for warmth, right? So you're going to ask what's good. You could also ask, have any fun plans for the weekend? Do anything fun this past weekend, right? I have a little joke that I like to share that is useful, where on Mondays and Tuesdays, you can ask everyone you meet, "Did you do anything fun and exciting this past weekend?" On Thursdays and Fridays, you can ask, "Have any fun and exciting plans this upcoming weekend?" And on Wednesdays, you just don't talk to anyone. Works great. Or you could ask, "Have any fun, and exciting plans this week?" So you're breaking the script, which creates a little bit of warmth. Then you can transition into competence with your answer. Because what they're probably going to say is, "How about you?" Or, "Tell me about your week." You should be ready to go with a story that shows a little bit about your behavior, that transitions into your prep for the interview, right? Like prep is a competence cue. And then we can go into nonverbal competence. Nonverbal competence is purposeful gestures. So no accidentally touching the face. We really don't like that. There's Cornell research that looked at behaviors that trigger feelings of mistrust. What's hard about this research is we have to be very careful. These aren't actual cues of deception. These are cues that people perceive are deception. So if you accidentally do them, you are triggering feelings of mistrust. They are touching the face, touching the body, blocking the body, or distancing, leaning away or leaning back. Those behaviors, they tend to feel like disengagement. People don't like them. So you want to make sure that you're doing the opposite of those things. You're still, unless you're using explanatory gestures, you're not doing any kind of self-touch. Self-touch is either a flirtatious courtship behavior or it's an anxious self-soothing behavior, pacifying behavior. You want to make sure that you are on your plane, on your level plane, or you're leaning in when you feel something important. You're not leaning back or distancing or taking a step back. So in that way, we can then begin to build our competence cues, and then we answer really competent on top of that.